Hello there, viewers, subscribers, friends, Sonic fans. This is a very landmark moment for me, as you can tell by the emotion in my voice. Here we have the 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is basically the beginning of the toy line. As I walked into GameStop the other day, based off a rumor that I heard from other YouTube friends that, this Sonic was out running about. He was released with a few other current generation figures from maybe Sonic Adventure and Sonic 06, like Sonic, Shadow, Tails, and Silver. And so, this was the only classic figure to be released in the early line, which is surprisingly only at GameStop, probably because Toys R Us lost the exclusive, and also to promote Sonic Generations. They also have various other toys in there. And yes, it will be a unboxing and review. So this is my first time interacting with the figure, as with earlier reviews such as Mega Man X for those who have been watching my reviews. So I will be going through the usual, the packaging, the sculpt, the articulation, the accessories, the pros and cons, and the warnings. So with much enthusiasm, I'm glad to show you guys maybe the first figure incarnation of the first video game I ever played, Sonic the Hedgehog. So here's the start of my review. Moving into packaging. It says Sonic the Hedgehog in the original classic title from, I remember when I used to play it during the Genesis days. And the 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Right there. The year, 1991, of the origin of the original character Sonic himself. And it says Sonic and Motobug, which I guess was the name of this character, the Ladybug enemy from the Green Hill Zone. You can also see the Green Hill Zone in the background. The safety tested sticker that's been with many Jazwares figures. I'm hoping that this will be quality. I hate to make you guys read sideways, but it says choking hazard, small parts. I want to close in on that, but that probably might not happen. I'll get into focused stuff later. I'll close in on the rest of the stuff. You probably can't read this stuff from here, so I'm gonna close in right now. So here's a close-up of the elements of the box that you probably wouldn't see in normal focus. It says Sonic the Hedgehog here. And here's a description, which is I've probably read before in another box, but hey. Capable of traveling at the speed of sound, Sonic is known for his speed, confident attitude, and readiness for any and all types of adventure. A true hero, he calls upon all his skills to save the world from Dr. Eggman. Sonic has a big heart and is always ready to help those in need. And this is a portrait of the character, probably from the Generations art, which I guess this is probably advertising for, as I said before. Anniversary 20th of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega, Sonic the Hedgehog, and all related characters are... and Indicia are trademarks of Sega. Sega, copyright, all rights reserved. User permission, manufactured and distributed by Jazwares Incorporated in Sunrise, Florida. Jazwares.com. Warning, all the packaging such as tape, plastic sheets, wire ties, stickers, and tags are not part of this product. No period. Please remove before giving to child. Retain package for future reference as it contains important information. Conforms to toy safety standards that I'm not going to read. And product outlook and colors may vary from shown. Branding, barcode. And on the front, 4+, warning, choking hazard. And anything on the bottom? No, just the packaging. And that is it for the packaging, people. And now we're gonna tear this bad boy open. So, yeah, this is a big moment for me. First character. By the way, I'm not keeping the packaging. This is like my very first video game character. And it's very nice to finally have him in a, immortalized plastic form. Sorry to be on my really, geeky side. But I like Sonic. It's a big thing of mine. So now you can see the little part of the Green Hill screen with the little rings and the mountains and the trees, and it's a very memorable stage, of course. first level of all Sonic time. And here's the figure in all its Jazwares accurateness and the Motobug. So, here's where the real review starts. Let's just get Sonic out of his prison, if that's even possible. There we go. Yep. Looks very, very classic Sonic-like when he's small and petite and stuff. And let's free this Motobug too while we're at it. Gotta love all the characters, kids. Oh no. The classic Sonic falling problem. Not something I haven't seen before. Does this stand? Not at all. Does the wheel move? Not sure yet. We'll figure that out sometime or another. But, yeah, I'll get to that later. Macro! So here is the classic Sonic figure in macro. Here you can see a lot of his details. And as you can see, he's riddled by mold lines, which is maybe a letdown. But not really for me. I don't have any problems with it, except for the eye mold line, which is really apparent in person. Maybe not as much in a photo or in a video as you can see here. And Sonic retains all of his classic traits. Might as well show you the articulation too, since it's just sculpt and his bottoms have text on them, which is barely readable. Sega Jazwares ink made in China, and the CE thing that they put on a lot of toys. Articulation now. Head gets a nice 360. Shoulders go up and over. Wrist turns. And waist also turns, although I will never use that articulation point because the belly dot is incredibly huge this time around. The legs are a little stuck, but I'm hoping they move. There we go. The legs are fairly tight, but they move almost about perpendicular to the stomach. And they're very rubbery too. And there's more likely rotation at the ankle. So, very simple articulations, very simple toy, but very striking character. So you get points for that, Blue Buddy. And here's the Motobug. Very well detailed. I bet you guys can notice the birds are keeping quiet. Shh, they might hear me. But yeah, very detailed. Trying to figure out if this wheel moves. Still have not figured that out. I think I saw it moving in someone else's review. Come on. Might be painted stuck or something. Okay, so I kind of gave up on that. Never mind the articulation, because it probably doesn't work. But anyhow, it is nice detailing. You can go do 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 do. Take Sonic down do do do. And yeah, that's pretty much my review of these figures, and Sonic stays upright with some patience. And basically, what you get in this package is decent posability. No elbow, but that probably wouldn't fit with classic Sonic anyway. And you get the classic Motobug, which I'm not sure has a moving wheel. You're gonna have to correct me on this one. But it's a great sculpt regardless. And Jazwares is good at doing good simple sculpts like the Sonic sculpt. Except for the obvious problems that it leaves behind, like with the head. But Sonic does have a nice 3D setup, although he keeps falling, which is not a good show for this review. But Sonic is a great figure nonetheless. The accessory is, of course, the Moto Bug. In terms of pros and cons, I can happily say that if you are a classic Sonic fan, this is a highly accurate sculpt and it shouldn't be missed. In fact, I've really got my eye on the classic Tails right now, and I definitely think that it's a buy. Because who else is going to go with classic Tails with classic Sonic, right? I mean, that's your only option. But yeah, it's a cool figure and stuff like that. And, you know, kinda sets a great... Well, now I'm just sounding boring. But it sets a great atmosphere in your collection. If you are collecting Sonic stuff, this is a nice thing to have. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm going to collect all the smaller figures, because as I saw with Jazwares' bigger figure releases, the 5-inch and Superposer and 10-inch scale, they aren't really worth the money as they can't do anything. As I was saying before, my heavy camera violently fell and disrupted my monologue. I had to take that out, of course. This is a very, trend-setting figure. Is a figure of the very first design of Sonic ever. Has a great shape to it, maintains the sculpt well. Might have been able to use some elbow joints, but that's not a big deal. Since things keep falling in this review, I'm getting starting to lose my patience. But I'm probably going to do this take again, so screw it. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, but yeah, the bigger options from Jazwares don't do much but stand there, so they're only good for collecting. And for me, someone who likes to do animations with them, I'm kind of out on that. So I'm no longer buying the bigger size ones, but otherwise, Sonic is a great option to buy if you're looking for a classic rendition of Sonic in the greatest simple sculpt that Jazwares has done, and I do give them props for that. So, in ending my review, I give this figure an 8. It could have used a little more articulation, but it's not a big deal since he does have notable more stability than the other Sonic, but in exchange his head is much bigger, so he will fall at inopportune times. Since this isn't a necessarily flat surface for my review set, I do see he was prone to falling. That's all for my review, guys. 8 out of 10, and I'm really enthusiastic about this character. First video game I've ever played. This is PilotTails, signing off.